All right, I've got Tonya Tolson with me now. She's a member of our parent liaison team. She's also a public charter school teacher. And Tonya, you were just on national news. I mean, pretty incredible. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you too, Brian.
I had to recently go seek counseling because I'm like, I'm not okay.
Tonya Tolson teaches 12th grade English at Mountain Island Charter School in Mount Holly, North Carolina. She says in her 2 decades of teaching, the job has been rewarding, but demanding.
We're always the ones giving, and we give. So nobody ever looks at how we're actually giving from an empty cup.
Lesson planning and grading papers require long hours, and keeping remote students on track during the pandemic was especially tough.
A lot of teachers leaving the profession because it's really mentally not great for us.
But tell us a little bit about how this interview came to be and what you did on it.
So I work for and volunteer for an organization called the Teachers Resource. And what the Teachers Resource does is they look at mental health with teachers. They've been providing gift bags. And I happened to find them. It was so weird. I was on Facebook News and WSOC, which is a local station here in Charlotte, did a story on their organization because they gave free bags to teachers. They provided clinical psychologists and just talking to teachers about how they felt during the pandemic and pretty much encouraging them to take time for them. So I reached out to her and her name is Tonya. She's the CEO. And I was like, I really would like to be a part of what's happening with teachers and how they feel, because I was that teacher. I was the one that didn't think I needed help, super teacher, just going on about her day and literally not having enough energy to even give my family. So that she decided, once Fox News reached out to her, to choose me as a teacher because I was on the front lines during the whole pandemic. And I also was one of those teachers that recently sought therapy because I needed help.
What got you to the point where you said, I got to take care of myself here too? Was there a critical moment, or had it just sort of, compounded over what the last couple of years have been like, which they've been a massive challenge?
It was both, actually, Brian. Like I literally, over the 2 years, because I actually worked through the pandemic, I was actually still here at the height of it. When they closed schools down, I had a couple students that really couldn't work from home. So I literally, before they even enacted the 6-foot rule, I had kids spread apart in my classroom, 6 feet apart, and they were working inside my classroom. So I literally, until they completely shut everything down, did not have a break. So with being on Google Meet to Zoom and doing all these things, it was just an immense amount of pressure to do good, because we kind of were flying by the seat of our pants until we literally got a handle on what was expected, because we were all playing it by ear within those 2 years. And then this past year, I literally sat down at my house and was like, I cannot do this. I really need, it became to a breaking point where I went to go play with my son and I had zero energy. Like it was just like I couldn't even give him the time that he deserved or needed. And I felt that it was time to seek some counseling.
Wow. What did you feel like you unlocked in yourself by doing that? And I'm so grateful that you had the courage to go out and do it and say, well, I gotta take care of myself here.
Yeah. So what I ended up making me to reach out to somebody else was that it's okay to. I think that's the stigma that a lot of us have, that it's not okay. Maybe you're crazy. I hate the crazy moniker, because that's what people think when you go to counseling. You're like, no, I just need a refresh. I just need somebody to tell me that it's okay. Like, it's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to not be enough. It's okay to just take that time to breathe. And people don't understand, just taking that time to sit down and breathe makes a whole world of difference. So that's what I did. And the counselor that I seeked out, it was so crazy because they have a waiting list of teachers, literally. And she was like, it's so crazy that I know your insurance from top to bottom, because we have a waiting list for teachers that need counseling right now. And it's sad because they don't have enough counselors to accommodate the teachers that need help. So sorry, I have something in my eye.
No, it's okay. I'm so grateful that you are willing to share the story with us, because my hope is that somebody watches the piece and says, you know what, that could be me too. And is willing to put themselves out there. For those of us who have been watching Encanto, maybe on repeat.
Right.
Like that song Pressure.
Yes,
Right?
yes. And that's how it feels. Like most
Yeah.
times we don't realize there's pressure and we're just saying, "Oh, we're just tired. Oh, it's just, this is what we do." Or especially for women, "Oh, we're super moms. We're okay.
Mhm.
We'll do it." And we have this facade that we're supposed to be so strong, especially as teachers, and it's not true at all. We really need to look at what's going on with ourselves and evaluate that we really need help.
Yeah. Well, the piece is incredible. And again, we're just not only grateful for you sharing your story, but all the work that we know you've been putting in over the last few years as a teacher. I mean, it comes with challenges, but it's also, I know, rewarding to see the end result, which is just taking care of every single kid in your classroom. So how are things now? And still navigating this thing as we go. So just give us a little bit of an update from a classroom.
Listen, so it's kind of weird because today is the first day with no mask. So
Mhm.
everybody's like, we're all looking around like, okay, are we really supposed to wear masks? What's happening? What's going on? So right now, we're all just still holding our breaths, making sure that we're still keeping it safe for our students, but also making sure that they're learning, because that's my biggest thing. I need you here so you can learn. So if that means one-way masking, we don't, fine. If that means two-way masking, we're good. But even though lifted most of the restrictions, we're still pretty much keeping it safe. We still have the kids 6 feet apart,
Mhm.
between 3 and 6 feet apart. We're still allowing some kids to mask without people looking, like, why do you still have your mask on? So, and some of the teachers
Totally.
are still masking. So
Totally.
it's just up to your individual comfort. I explained to the students that I did everything right. I got vaccinated, boosted, I wore my mask, I double masked, and I still got COVID. I said, so those are, it's just an individual thing. Whatever you makes you feel safe, whatever makes this learning environment comfortable for you, that is what I want you to do. How are you going to learn? Is it masking? Great. Are you learning without mask? Great. I just need
Mhm.
A's, B's, whatever. So we're really adjusting to really well, but it's different today because now it's like this brand new day and everybody feels relaxed and comfortable and finally not on edge about learning and growing into the
Mhm.
classroom.
Well, that's good. My hope is that we can start getting towards a position of being able to move forward. We've learned a lot. Challenges have come our way. People
Absolutely.
have paid ultimate prices in losing loved ones. Nobody wants any of those things to happen, right? Um,
Absolutely. And
um,
it's even, even in the classroom, we've lost teachers,
yeah,
and not even by death, so to speak, but just the whole fear of the pandemic. So
yeah,
teachers are starting to return back to classroom. We've lost teachers because of mental stress. They're literally leaving a profession, and that's a big problem, especially for PNFNC being school choice advocates. But we don't have those teachers to teach in these
yeah.
schools, and
That's
that's the
right.
scary part. So getting those teacher programs, um, partnering with the state, making sure we have those grants, making sure we have those teachers in the classrooms. And that's why I love PNFNC. And it's not just because I work here. The legislation is so important, and people do not realize how important it is to those local elections,
Mhm.
because you can be on whatever side of the aisle you on. But when it comes to school choice and when it comes to the best learning environment for your child, you need to read that platform. You need to see who the best person is, not Democrat, Republican. We need to see who's going to give my child the best, appropriate, and free education.
Mm.
And that is what it's about. And that's what we at PNFC, we promote that because
Yeah.
we're like, hey, if public school is your thing, great, but still use those elected officials to do that. But if school choice is your thing, hey, roll with us. We're going to tell you where to go. We're going to tell you what to do, and we're going to help you get money to do so. So those are the things that people need to understand. And even with teachers, we tell teachers all the time, hey, if this is not the public school is not the learning environment for you, go to charter, go to private. But these are places, whatever's going to get you in the best mental state,
Mm.
that is where we need you to be. Virtual school is another great way where teachers can decompress at home. They can set their own schedules. And there's so many different varieties for us to feel like we belong and we're making a difference.
Incredible. So grateful for your perspective and for sharing that. She's Tonya Tolson, a member of our parent liaison team, and then also of national news fame. But speaking about a critically important issue these days, we can't
Yes.
take for granted what folks across a lot of different walks of life have been through over the last few years. And specifically for us, let's lean in a little bit for our teachers. Let's extend a little bit of grace. Let's show them some extra love. And let's look for opportunities where folks need help to encourage
Yes.
them to do so. And my hope is that your piece will encourage more to say, I could use a little bit of help for myself too.
Thank you. And if you want them to reach out to me on different ways to get help, how their insurance works for them, how you can do it discreetly, because every school does provide a program it should be something called EASE at your particular school district, and it's anonymous. Like, you don't have to call and say, this is my name if you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's something that's not even reported to your boss. Like, because a lot of people think, oh, I go to get this teacher ease, and then they're going to tell my principal I'm mentally unstable. No, not at all. It's private. It's completely covered, completely private. So if they want more information, they can definitely reach out to me. I'll be more than willing to help anybody reach those personal resources that they need.
Great. If you're watching this and you'd like that assistance, send us an email, info@pefnc.org, and we'll make sure it gets to Tonya and she can help you out from there. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you. It's really been a privilege. Great seeing you.
You too.